I'm a recipient of the Lion of the Year, who I really was had known that he had contributed to the community immensely, but I really didn't know the depth of those contributions until I got into preparing this this presentation. And so, so the Lion of the Year, actually, I'll give you a few hints here. The Lion of the Year this year moved to Grand Junction in the mid-1980s. He joined Lions Club a few years after that. He's been involved in business, civic endeavors, and public service, but he's not a lawyer, a realtor, an insurance agent, or a banker. So you probably know who it is already, right? So that gives you a few hints. And also, he played semi-pro ball. Any hints or any idea so far?
Bowling?
Okay. Well, here we go. The hints were maybe a little distracting because he was actually born in Grand Junction at the old St. Mary's Hospital, and he moved back in the mid-80s. Oldest child of a Catholic family, went to St. Joe's Catholic School, and everybody should know who this is from this pic right here. But getting to the semi-pro ball, he was a champion on the 8th grade basketball team coached by Sam Saplesio, and Sam Saplesio was a pro, and so I guess this person was a semi-pro. And if you haven't guessed it right by now, it's obvious that it's Lion Jim Spahar, who happened just to be sitting by me today by chance, because we don't usually sit together. But at any rate, so congratulations, Jim. So Jim, after graduating from high school at Grand Junction High, he attended Mesa College for a year, which I've heard was an inauspicious beginning to his college career, and something about alcohol may have had a little to do with that. But while he was a freshman at Mesa, he began dating Bonnie, his wife, and she was a year behind. She decided to go to Arizona State, so he decided to go to Arizona State as well. And they were married in 1969. He graduated with a BS in mass communications, as if BS is very fitting for mass communications. But then he became a news director of an all-news station in Phoenix for a while. And at any rate, later, as you can see, this was the 70s. He worked in a TV news in Denver, and then he landed a job with the Associated Press and became news editor. Then he got a job being a broadcast exec, and he would travel a 4 and sometimes 5 state area to sell the news services to the local radio stations. In 1983, mid-1980s, he convinced his bosses back in New York that he could do the same job from Grand Junction, and that's when he moved back to Grand Junction. So later on, a dream, and this is a recurring theme here, is a dream. It was realized, and he purchased his own radio stations. He had been dreaming about this for a long time. He purchased KEXO and KKLY, and ran them for several years, and became it was a family undertaking. They had a lot of fun, and there were a lot of events in which they participated in the community. So those years were busy at work and also involved in youth sports. And so another one of his dreams was was to get into public service and become involved in politics. He ran for a county commissioner and was elected in 1991. He served there until 1995, and it was a learning experience. And as he says here, persuasion and patience usually do work better. Now, this next slide, it's hard to put all of this on one slide. I tried to do it. Hi, Bonnie. Hi there. There we go. I'm sorry. Her name is Ellie. Ellie, that's right. So this is the part about Jim that I really didn't know all of these things, but he was elected to as county commissioner in 1991, and then subsequently that he achieved several other things other than just being county commissioner. He was the chair of the Tax and the Finance Committee of Colorado Counties, Inc., and he was appointed to the Legislative Interim Committee on Tax Policy, one of 3 non-legislators to be on that committee. And he also was a member of the Colorado Economic Growth Commission, the Governor's Smart Growth Initiative, and he was on the boards of the Colorado Association of Ski Towns, and also on the board of the Associated Governments of Northwest Colorado. So we talk about public service. This is public service. And he continued in 1999, was elected to Grand Junction City Council, and he served as a term as mayor, and he was elected to a second term unopposed. He served as the president and on the executive board of the Colorado Municipal League. Also served on the board of the Colorado Water Congress, and was a candidate for the U.S. Congress in the 3rd District. And that's pretty amazing. And to have a Lion that's done all that, it makes me proud. I'm just to be a Lion, and that's admirable. And so subsequently, he walked away from a public life and continued consulting here with his company, and consulted with local, state, and federal groups, and also in the private sector. And he continued this with just consulting over coffee with everybody that was interested. He spent some time at the Free Press, and for the past few years, I'm not sure how many years, he's had a column in the Sentinel, and currently it appears Sunday most of the time. But his last hurrah in politics came via the Lions Club, where he dressed up as Bill Clinton, and Bonnie was Hillary, and they had a leash around Bill's neck, as you can see here. So that was his swan song in politics. But currently he has time for his cars, and he's going to leave today after this meeting to go on a 6-day off-road trip over in Utah in this beauty, which is a Land Cruiser, the year of which will depend on if you're talking about the motor, the transmission, or anything else. And he has time for his family, of course, and some are here, and an adventure or two as well, and life is good, and congratulations, Lion Jim Spahar, the 2019 Grand Junction Lion of the Year. And you're absolutely welcome. I've got this for you. plaque. And for your lovely wife, congratulations. It's all yours.
Well, damn you, woman. We weren't going to be here today. I was hoping to be up on Soldier Summit headed to Salt Lake and this adventure that Bonnie and I are going on that Dick described. And my wife suspiciously had a luncheon commitment she couldn't get out of, so if I wanted to eat, she told me, you might as well go to Lions and we'll eat afterwards. Yeah, so here we are. You know, this... that could better be described as jack of all trades and maybe master of none. But it has been fun, and a great deal of that has been with the people in this room and over 30 plus years of being a Lion. When I got back and decided to go into business here, I thought I ought to join a service club, and I can't remember who told me this, but it stuck with me forever. It's that I was informed that the Rotarians owned Grand Junction, the Kiwanians ran Grand Junction, and the Lions had fun. So I immediately looked at the roster and saw that Alan Workman was in the Lions Club. He and my mother had worked together at the college, and Alan and I connected, and one thing led to another. He was my sponsor, and 30 plus years later, here I am. This is surprising. I mean, I describe myself as a mediocre Lion. You know, I don't sell a ton of tickets. I haven't been around a lot lately. But this club, I guess, epitomizes why all the people who've received this award have done as much or more than I have. You know, I grew up in, as Dick mentioned, in a big family. You know, it was nothing for my mother to have 3 dozen people in her house for a holiday dinner, and they were all family, big extended family. You know, what we learned there, what I took away from that is that we're all in this together, and we have to take care of one another. You know, I mean, Brian's done that, Dick's done that. I mean, there's a Lion of the Year at virtually every table here today in front of me. And that's why I did the kind of things I did publicly. That must be the reason for this award, because it isn't because I'm an outstanding Lion. You know, the thing I guess I'd remember is that I chose that life. You know, to kind of live life out loud. These guys didn't. You know, Bonnie used to say when I was county commissioner and a city councilman that everybody else got the gregarious, happy Jim Spahar, and she got the battered Hulk when I came wandering in the door. You know, my kids have been drug into this. You know, my son has absolutely forbid me to ever mention him in a column again. But it's, you know, a little bit of pride that he chose my profession, journalism, and is doing really well at it in his own way. Jess and her cousins, I wrote about a little while ago. They are showing us the kind of parents that we should be, that we should have been. You know, and Ellie, Pearl, Howard. You know, it's the ultimate blessing to be able to see the world again through the eyes of a 4-year-old. You know, I'm stumbling around a little bit because I was up till 2 a.m. writing a column for Sunday. It would have been easy to skip, but you know, I couldn't skip Tilly. You know, and he's the one that set the example for all of us. I mean, Reeford and Greg and I and all of us who were in politics. He set the bar pretty high. The columns I write that I think are the best usually bring a tear or two while I'm writing them, and that was there at 2 a.m. this morning, and you'll get to read it on Monday. But I'm honored to be included in the company of the people who have received this award. I'm honored to have been welcomed here in this club and in this community for 30 plus years now since I've been back. I think when I started getting active, I mean, I was really proud of the fact that every once in a while I'd run across somebody and say, I knew your dad. When I was on the city council, I came into the council office one day and there was a note. Jessica was working for Dan and running papers around, legal papers around to various places in the community. And I came in and there was a note from her in my box, and I still have that note somewhere. And it said, I was in today, people are always asking me, are you Jim Spehar's daughter? And I'm proud of that. So that's the kind of accolade that means so much anymore. I got into journalism and politics because of why those of us in the 60s did. We had a lot of heroes on big stages. My heroes now are my kids and my granddaughter and Bonnie. I mean, these people have loved me when I didn't deserve it, supported me, whatever I wanted to do, and I've had the honor of the last couple of years of being Bonnie's chauffeur as she's gone around Western Colorado under contract helping young special ed teachers. I've bounced around doing a lot of things. That woman has dedicated 50 years of her life to kids who have special needs, and to be in Durango or Bayfield or I won't go to Rangeley with her anymore. She's on her own there, but and see the respect and the passion she brings to that job is amazing. So I guess back to what I learned around the dinner table, I said in the column I wrote about Tilly that a town is just a place on a map, a milepost on a road, that a community is all the people in it, and that despite all our differences, whatever they are, we find a way to come together and do things and get things done. So I'm happy to have had a small part in doing that in my hometown, and I'm grateful to all the people I see in this room who've done all of that too, and I'm honored and thankful, and I'll shut up so we can get out of town. Thank you.